All right, thank you very much for taking the time to watch part one of our three-part series, Unlocking the Secrets and Benefits of Saving in Silver and Gold. And in part two of this video series, what I wanted to share real quick is to make sure that you enter into our silver giveaway contest, which will be taking place on September 7th. So just make sure you like and comment on the video on YouTube or Rumble, or wherever you see it posted, and you'll be entered into the drawing, which the deadline is September 6th at midnight. Okay, so in part two of this video, series, what we're going to cover is silver versus gold, the direct correlation between the two and what you should keep in mind and have, tips to keep in mind before you make your next purchase, whether it's for a short-term gain, or a long-term gain. Okay, so this is something to I give you an example and food for thought to actually consider because it does make an impact on which particular precious metal you might want to choose to save in. And then also, I have titled this Shocking Results because we're comparing a checkout of 5 different companies where I do an example of purchasing 1 ounce of silver and also 1 ounce of gold. And it is very eye-opening, especially when it comes to the company that has the best price and the process for purchasing 1 ounce of gold. So it's something you might want to take into consideration if you're in the market to make that part of your savings portfolio, or when you choose to buy silver and gold. So I hope you enjoy part 2 of our 3-part series. And I look forward to connecting you again on the 3rd part of the series. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is going to be my example of how you can benefit from gold rising prices without physically actually buying gold and instead purchasing silver. Okay, now this was from March of 2024 from moneymetals.com. So they had an article on silver versus gold. Here's what usually happens with silver. It does move with gold, but it moves later. Gold will shoot up first, and then you'll see silver take off rapidly, and silver always outperforms gold. It's just late. Okay, so what in the article, they go ahead and talk about the gold-silver ratio at the time of this article in March. Gold-silver ratio is at an 86-to-1 ratio, meaning 86 ounces of silver equals 1 ounce of gold. Okay, so that's what it has here. Historically, the average gold-silver ratio in the modern era has generally ranged between 40-to-1 and 60-to-1. So right now, when we're in the 80s, 86-to-1 in this article, and I'll show you a specific example here in a moment. But typically, it ranges in the 40 to 60-to-1. So we have this big discrepancy. So gold is rising up, just like the article is saying, and then at some silver is going to take up start taking off afterwards. So what I did here is this was based on the prices of gold and silver at the close from the resource that I had that showed gold closed at 25.06, silver closed at 29.19. So what that means is that 85 ounces of silver equals 1 ounce of gold. So based on the article and what history has shown, if silver gets to that 60-to-1 ratio, what that would mean is silver would rise to a price of 41.76 per ounce, which is a 43% gain, which is really nice gain. And if it actually hit that 40-to-1 ratio, silver would be at $62.65, which is at 114% gain. So that's, as far as taking advantage of the price of gold by purchasing silver, this is one way to look at it, or one option that you have, because it's, obviously I would, whether you can do both or one or the other, it's kind of a win-win situation over the course of a long term. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just sharing with you the information and the resources that I have and what I'm finding out. So I did an example of this back in May, also on one of my presentations, and also on August 14th. But in May, gold was 23.47. So from May till now, you see the difference in what gold's gone up. And here, in this case here, silver has gone down. So in May, it was 31.16 versus 29.19. But at that point, the gold to silver ratio was 75. So it was starting to catch up. That's where you see silver higher. So that was the ratio then. But then when I did this on August 14th, when gold was at 24.49 and silver was at 27.60, we were at an 88-to-1 ratio. Okay, so you see how it, just like the markets fluctuate, this is going to fluctuate also. But eventually what's going to happen is silver is going to catch up to gold. Okay. So it's kind of keep that in mind. Something that kind of food for thought as far as, what you're going to save in. Okay. And so this is a very useful chart because it gives you, like those gold and silver charts that I showed you, it gives you a good aspect of what's gold's done over, this is like 20 years, over the last 20 years. So with gold, the change in price was 0.35% on, from on the day of Wednesday. The 30-day increase has been $62.10 an ounce, or 2.54%. But if you go back to 20 years, so you go back to 2004 versus now, you're looking at an increase of 517% for gold. And then you look at silver, when you compare it, yeah, the gains aren't always, the spikes in gains in silver aren't as broad or don't jump as much as gold, but it's still, you look at what just from a daily range to a 30-day and all the way down to 20 years, from 20 years, it's had a 336% gain. So it is something that shows you, like if you look at the 6-month and year, or the 6-month return, so 6 months gold or silver has had a 25.98% increase. Gold has had a 20.37% increase. So eventually what's going to happen is it will catch up to gold, okay? And as far as that 40-60 ratio. So kind of keep that in mind. I wanted to share this chart because it was very useful. And these are obviously from goldprice.org and silverprice.org. So I want to, and on the other charts, I do have the other companies that have shared the information that I got it from, okay? So this is what I'm going to share this about, comparing 5 different companies. And I'm not trying to confuse anybody. I'm just trying to share something that everybody needs to do their due diligence. Everybody's going to have their favorite gold or silver supplier to purchase from, the precious metal supplier. And if you have a specific one, and you're very happy with their service and their price and everything, continue to use them. But for the person that hasn't started saving in the form of silver and gold or made any purchases, this is important to keep in mind because it's going to, I just want to share this because it's going to give you an eye-opening examples of, what to look for, and just to make sure that you are getting the best price, because everybody's money is valuable to them. So, to spend it wisely, I just want you to keep this in mind. And you can do your own examples too before you place any orders with any company. And I'm not recommending any specific company here, but I'm going to share you 5 examples from 5 different companies. So a lot of times what you're going to see is you'll see an ad, 1 ounce American silver eagle coin as low as $36.55. And I did this example just doing 1 coin of each, 1 ounce of gold and 1 ounce of silver, and choosing the credit card or debit card choice, because different companies will offer discounts for like using cryptocurrency or using bank wire or personal check. Okay, then there's advantages to those and savings with those, but not everybody is going to do, like, if it's their first time purchase or something, or they want to try a different company out, they're most likely going to use a credit card or a debit card. Okay, so that's why I use that as an example. So in this case here, you see as low as $36.55, but then you look down here and it says 500 plus $36.56. Well, where is that? But anyway, so I did one and I hit add to cart. And as soon as I get to the cart, it says $38.75. Okay, so there's already that jump there. And on this one here, with this company, this is actually GoldSilver.com. When I hit continue to check out, come to find out they have on physical silver, you have to have a $500 minimum from ordering it to shipping it to your home. Okay, so this is something to kind of keep in mind. Some places have minimums. The other 4 companies that I shared did not. Okay, and I'll show you that chart here in a minute. And then, okay, so here, a 1 ounce American gold eagle coin as low as $26.44.69. I clicked 1, hit add to cart. Of course, you see down here it says 20 plus. Well, yeah, okay. If you have $40,000 plus sitting there, yeah, that'd be okay. But like I said, I did a 1 ounce one to be for this example here, using a credit or debit card. So you hit one, add to cart, and it comes out as $27.59.14. Okay, so right away, you're already at, 115, roughly $115 difference in cost. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. You do see this from different other places as well. But keep that in mind when they say that we have the best price guarantee. Well, yeah, in volume, of course, you're going to hit a lot of things in volume. But there's one company I'm going to share with you that regardless of whether you buy one or you buy 100 or 1,000, it's going to be the same price. Okay, so I wanted to share that with everybody. So kind of keep this in mind when you go to purchase, if you're just starting out. Okay, like I said, if you have your specific gold or silver supplier and you're very happy with them, by all means, continue using them. Okay, I'm just trying to give some insight here. So what they want on some American Gold Eagle. So at the time, like I said, this was on Wednesday. When I did this, the actual price of gold was at $25.06 an ounce. Okay, so I compared 7K metals, JM Bullion, SD Bullion, GoldSilver.com, and Miles Franklin. Okay, so the online price for 7K metals was $25.83.94. When you click add to cart, it says $25.83.94 for the actual coin itself. And then they have a shipping charge of $19.99. So what you're going to see in this chart is that different companies offer it free. So the part of this shipping cost 7K does, it's separated out, okay? But most likely the shipping that they say is free is just incorporated into their price. But they have other as their credit card processing fee, okay? So it's because 7K is located in Idaho Falls, Idaho. They do have a physical building, so if you're in that city, you could actually stop in and transact and actually see their facility and everything. But so they do not do all this advertising like all these other companies here, JM Bullion, SD Bullion, GoldSilver.com, and Miles Franklin. They have their advertising, so a lot of their stuff is tied into the cost here. So, but 7K, because they rely on their members to share the information and then spend a ton of money on advertising. That's why they do kind of specifically show you. So, okay, this is what your actual dealer, they have offer advertised dealer direct pricing. So this is their dealer direct pricing. Their shipping is $19.99, which is a FedEx 2-day shipping with signature confirmation, and the others, their processing fee. And it comes out to $26.81.45. Now, JM Bullion, when the online price was advertised, as low as at $26.18.15. So when I hit the add to cart, via credit card and debit card, the actual cost is $27.42.86. SD Bullion, the same thing, $26.42.34. When I hit to card, it said $27.52.44. But then when I hit to go to final checkout, I'm not sure where that 11 cents came, but it doesn't really make a difference. But $27.52.55. But then there's a note, 5 to 10 days from shipping. So it's not even giving me a specific ship date, but it says you'll get it within 5 to 10 days. 7K, they only sell what they have in stock. With their FedEx 2-day shipping, you're going to get your gold in 2 days. SD Bullion, it's 5 to 10 days from whenever they get to ship it to you. So you might, if you need it, wanted it urgent or something, and you ordered it today, it might not ship until Monday or Tuesday, and then you got 5 to 10 days from there. So something that just didn't seem right to me. GoldSilver.com, their online price was $26.44.69, and their actual was $27.59.14. And I have an asterisk here because these other 4 companies, I was specifically looking for a 2024 1-ounce American Gold Eagle. GoldSilver.com, when you get to their checkout thing, it says you're going to receive a common date. So it could be any random date. And what that means is that you can't specifically ask for a 2024, which if you're doing it from a collection standpoint for specific dates, that will impact you. But regardless, their price was $27.59.14. And then Miles Franklin, they were at $27.56.94. And they have estimated available 9/7. So on August 28th, their availability was a week later, roughly. Okay, so they're basically taking your order, and I'm not trying to say anything. I know one of the people I listen to is Andy Sheckman from Miles Franklin. He's got a wealth of knowledge too, as well as when it comes to gold and silver and different things economically. I'm not taking anything away from them, but I just thought that was a little strange that they did, they would take an order from you, but they're not going to be able to, they don't have any available till September 7th. So basically at the time of me doing this, their inventory must have been depleted or something else was happening. Okay, so I'm just trying to share with you what I researched and found out. So this is kind of eye-opening. So 7K turned out to have the very best price. Okay, and they've always advertised dealer direct pricing. So in this, like I said, this is doing with a credit card or debit card. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so that was for gold, and then here's for the American Silver Eagle. So I use the same 5 companies. Okay, so in this case here, 7K Metals is online price for a 2024 American Silver Eagle. And when I did this was $36.69. The checkout was still the same. The shipping, now here again, see, they're using FedEx. Okay, so FedEx shipping is a little more expensive than the Postal Service, which is what these other companies are using. Now, so they have FedEx 2-day shipping, and so that's part of the cost there. And then their other, that was their processing fee again. So it actually came out to $50.78. I do want to point out 7K does have something for their members. If they have a membership program too, where you can actually bundle your purchases if you are a member. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind too. So if, like say if you wanted to, like silver was, in this case here, $36.69. And then, next week or something, silver dropped down to $32 or whatever. And you had this one shipment bundle, okay, yeah, you would have to pay for it at the time you click to checkout. But what it would do if you added more to your bundle, it would take the price of silver that day, and then it would adjust the shipping costs. In most cases, typically, like if I had another coin, like say a week from now or whatever, typically it would be just like an additional $2.99 fee or something. Okay, so they do allow you to bundle things. These other companies, to my knowledge, do not. Okay, so JM Bullion was $35.72. When you click checkout, because it's credit or debit card, it was $39.29, and their shipping was $9.95. So even with that, they were still a little bit cheaper than 7K. SD Bullion, online price versus checkout was the same, shipping $9.95. So they were technically the cheapest at $48.50. GoldSilver.com, $36.55, $38.75 shipping. They have a minimum shipping charge of $25, but then also they do have like I mentioned previously, they do have a $500 minimum. So it would actually, technically, even without the minimum, if you were able to purchase it, it would still cost you $63.75. And then Miles Franklin was a straight $37.09. Their shipping was $15, and the estimated availability of it here again, I'm not sure why it shows that. I have not bought from Miles Franklin. I bought from JM Bullion, SD Bullion, GoldSilver.com, and 7K Metals. So I do have experience personally with them. I'm not sure about that. But like with I thought their shipping was a little bit much, but like I said, this is just the examples that I used. Okay, and like I have a lot of respect for each of these companies, but I'm just showing you 5 specific examples, and this is things that you need to look at when you go to purchase if you're doing it for the first time or if you don't have your favorite supplier. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this right here for part 1, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up for part 2 in the video, which I'll be recording. What I'm going to share with you is the storage fees, because all these companies, not all these companies, but a lot of companies do offer the ability to store metals for you. Okay, and so if you're a person that might be concerned about storing it in your own home or what options you might have, I want to share this with everybody because it is a very important information. Because a little bonus nugget on that, a lot of people say, well, I can store it in my safety deposit box. Okay, which, yeah, you could do that, but the FDIC does not insure what's in your storage box. Okay, so if something happened where there was a fire or something, or an explosion, and what you have in your safety deposit box, unless you have separate insurance on it, and I'm not sure if I don't have a safety deposit box to speak from a specific example, but if you don't insure that through another company, like your homeowner's insurance or renter's insurance or whatever you have, um, you basically do not have what you had in your storage box. So kind of keep that in mind. Okay. So I want to thank everybody. I know this took a little bit longer than I thought, but this is really, it's an informational presentation. I want to share as much information that I can with you and share with you some of the research is what I found going over this presentation and preparing for it. Now, this is something I've been passionate about over the last 4+ years now. So I really, I'm happy to share this with everybody. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I'm going to be sharing with you the storage, but then also I'm going to share with you an option for purchasing gold and silver incrementally. And I'll also have that information about the company I'm going to be talking about tomorrow below this video as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate your time. And like I said, save the video, watch it when you can, but make sure it's something that you keep in mind before you make your purchases. And I hope you got some good value from this. And we'll talk to everybody again soon. Okay. I really appreciate your time.